Hey everyone, this is Walter, and we're back with yet another installment of this series. We're getting very close to the end, but we're not quite there. Let's get started with Nice Guy Stories from Reddit, 4 years in uni with Nice Guy. We're reading a long-ass letter that Kevin sent to the OP, and I'm sure we'll at least finish that today. But I finally read the ending of the story, and apparently Kevin is like 31 at the time of sending this letter. I was assuming he was normal college age the whole time, and it was still pretty crazy. But this man going in to fight sexual harassment allegations with his mom and just arguing with the school about it? Even Christian didn't do that, and fought Mary Lee Walsh by himself like an adult. Okay, well maybe throwing a Kamehameha at her wasn't the most adult thing in the world. Anyway, let's get reading. The last thing he did was accuse her of falsely reporting him twice. First time aside, she reported him the second time because he immediately contacted her after he was told not to. If all this wasn't enough, you even reported to the school that I was bothering you? Even though I was avoiding you all this time, after you unfriended me. Do you know how hard things have been for me? I was avoiding you because I couldn't handle seeing you anymore. It was painful for me. You should read the older messages. I was clueless about what was happening and why you did those things to me. I believe as well in WhatsApp way back when I wrote this, that I know how stubborn you are, and that talking to you was hopeless. So I simply did not talk to you, and that if you wanted contact with me, it should come from you. I knew that if I did try to talk to you, it would make it only worse, since how you acted already towards me. But then you started getting annoyed by seeing me, and by my presence, to the point that you couldn't handle it, and reported me to the school. No matter what, your view only got worse. I didn't go to the third lesson from Victor. You went to the first two, though, and for those reading, it went like this. First one, he came in late when everyone already has their easels out, and was working. He stood behind Cleo and I in the back, and just didn't do anything. He didn't pick up an easel, he just stood there. Eventually Cleo turned around and said, do something, because if he was there to fucking model draw, he should model draw. And he did pick up an easel and got to work. Dude really came in, stood directly behind us, and didn't have the decency to pretend to be busy, just staring like Michael fucking Myers. When everyone got ready to leave, and I washed my hands, he made it a point to walk past me as close as fucking possible. Yep, everything just feels worse now that I know that he's like 7 years older than I thought he was. The second fucking lesson, we had a nude female model, and as I was preparing my space, having come early, some other guy puts his easel behind me, and it was fine. But then Kevin comes in, and I hear him asking this guy if he could have that space. And since the guy had no idea who Kevin was, he just said sure, since there was plenty of space still left. Kevin went out of his way to ask a guy if he could have the space directly behind me. Also, there is an etiquette to nude model drawing classes. One of them is, you do not touch the model. If you want them to do a certain pose, you demonstrate the pose yourself so they mimic it. You do not touch them to maneuver them in the way you want. We were also allowed to bring props, and Kevin brought some of those articulated claws you can put on for her to pose with, and he attempted to help put them on. Which, if this was a normal clothed person, would be fine, but this is a naked female stranger. Victor, our illustration teacher, immediately stopped him, saying she can do it herself, and she did. Just the fact that this guy could not read the goddamn room, that he as a clothed man is in a way different power position than a naked female in a room full of people. I felt so sorry for her, and was so glad Victor was there and she took it with grace, but dear Lord, he disgusted me 1,000 times more than that. After seeing his non-existent regard of the situation, didn't even apologize and be like, sorry, I wasn't thinking. He was just silent and watched as she put the claws on and then went back to his place. You know, I'm really not that surprised to hear that Kevin didn't understand boundaries once again at this point. And I didn't go to any of the parties of the class after that first one, since you went there too. I tried to work with the first years in a way that I would avoid the main animation floor. I tried to avoid going to school in general for you. I was afraid that you had some mental problem. But even if you saw me only like 10 times in our 4th year, I hadn't talked to you since the day you unfriended me. You still went on and on with hating me. I don't want to believe that you realized what you were doing and that it was on purpose and you truly believe in the story you created around us. But for me, it was truly a shock. I'm not the one making shit up, Kevin. The one person I cared for the most in that school tried to get me expelled. I felt hopeless, like he wanted to force me even more into the abyss. What were you even trying? Were you trying to push me over the edge? I really can't handle any more of this. It broke me. It is like they're living in different realities. She just wanted him to go away, but she's the supervillain in his story. I just hope that wasn't your intention, at least to try and get me expelled, and hurt me so much, as you did, and to make it even worse, you even reported me a second time when I asked Julia. A different friend of our group who is actually Cleo's childhood best friend. To ask some people of the group to talk some things out with, who I had a discussion with. You were not even part of that discussion, but I did understand that you were the only one that responded, and ruined my chances of talking things out with some other people by ranting whole pages of text that only were negatives about me. I feel like people often overuse the term projection these days. But Kevin complaining about someone else ranting whole pages of negative text? Yeah, okay, champ. I was hoping with that meeting to expose that devil Cleo of what this was. Have no idea why you felt the need to respond at all. It wasn't about you. It was not easy for me. I mean, how I felt towards you and dealing with those feelings, but I did try my best to be a friend and not bother you with my feelings, since I knew that would place you in a difficult spot too. So I did that and never bothered you with my feelings. I knew that you had this character view of yourself and that certain aspects of it were important to you. That character view of yourself also scared me, since even if we had something, would you be happy with me? I felt like you would be uncertain with yourself because of that character view. I think that character view also plays a part in all this, and why you are so uncertain, and what led to this whole mess. What the fuck is he talking about? This guy has lost the difference between real life and titty anime games. Like I already said to you in our second year, you are a bit weird, but I could see through all that and see the real you. At least so I thought. It's not like I chose to hang out with you. You know, it just kind of happened because we both enjoyed it. No, you wanted to hang out with me, and I said yes because I was running errands and I lived close by enough that I could quite literally just go home and slam the door in your face if I had enough. Well, time for the conclusion. People in college who suck at writing always think that everything needs a conclusion. Part 6, Last Say. I've always liked hanging out with you, and doing all those things with you, and even helping you out. I look back at our friendship as fun and exciting, but with a painful ending where you betrayed our friendship. It's sad that even if you wanted to end our friendship, you couldn't have at least had one talk about it in person with me, but you didn't want to talk to me anymore in any way. I see myself as rational and someone who is considerate and is always open to a talk. If you wanted to end it, then I would have agreed to your decision, since what choice would I even have in the first place? I deserved that much from you after being friends with you for 3 years and helping you with everything. As you said in your message in WhatsApp, friendships cannot be forced and end up sometimes being one-sided, and they just end. I always listened, and you were the one who made all the decisions in our friendship. I just came up with ideas for us to do, and you would agree or disagree. Well, it definitely ended up one-sided in this friendship, but that's only because at one point you didn't talk to me anymore, and that was after 3 years of friendship. It didn't just end, it ended so suddenly, without any explanation, which only makes it harder to deal with. As I said, it was your choice, and I have always done my best to listen to you, and what you wanted. If you ever felt that I was bothering you in any way, you could have just told me yourself. I mean, I would be confused, but I would listen to you anyway, since I simply didn't want you to hate me. I would have liked to do so many nice things with you. Oh good lord, let me summarize this next part. He wants them to eat lasagna and Thai food together. He wants to go see her town in Germany. He wants her to make a character based on him and then they can make animations together. What a fucking nerd. My god, does he have anything else going on in his life? He wants them to go to Comic-Con and for her to cosplay a character, and then they go to amusement parks and a metal concert. And many other fun things together, too many to name them all. It's also a real shame that all those ideas we've been talking about are never going to happen. Too many to name? Even the ones you named I never agreed to. I don't want your apology. You're not getting one. I don't want anything from you. I never did. Yeah, you did. I was just too dumb to realize it early enough. I already had that experience with you, when you apologized and said sorry a bunch of times. You never thought about how I felt about all this, and you never even bothered to talk and check how I was doing. No, you were so convinced of the web of lies that you were trapped in that you never even considered anything else. At least I know now who you are. Even until the last day, I hoped to hear a small whisper of you saying goodbye, but that didn't happen. No, instead you were hiding under the desk of that demon Cleo, the one responsible for it all. Nah, that was all me. She supported me after I told you to fuck off. That is also when I learned of all the other shit you pulled that I wasn't there for. She must have had a real blast of you acting so pathetic, and that you did not even once have a conversation with me. You made it so easy for her to manipulate you. Who is acting pathetic here, by the way? Fucking 30-year-old man sent an email to his whole class explaining his friendship with a classmate. Like, who the hell cares? If I could turn back time, I would never help you with any of it all. helping you with homework, writing, schedules, 3D, and so much more. It was all a waste of time. I never hated you, not even now, even though I have more than enough reason for it. You just disappointed me more than I thought anyone could have. Our friendship ended the day you threw it away for no reason, in December 2021. I think the OP better just give up on trying to convince him it was never a friendship. He just refuses to see reality. It was a best friend to him, which is more than a little sad. It was your choice, and I never had any say in it. Yet you tried. But I do want to have my say in all this, and give you a full view of how I experienced it, and maybe you understand some parts better, and how I looked at you. I will never know what you thought about me, but I don't care anymore. This letter is my farewell to you, for good. Well, we certainly know how she feels about him, anyone who watches this video series. Now we're going to be looking at some art and reading the description from the author. And now we have to keep Kevin's age in mind too. The first one is from way back. He showed me this back in second year, and I should have ran right then and there. I told him not to draw me anymore in that moment. I hated it. It felt icky. I remember only allowing if it is Victor's class, where we all take turns modeling for the class, or if it is homework for Victor's class to sketch people in the area. And if I happen to be in that area, then yeah, fine, sure. But it sure as fuck wouldn't look like this. When I look at it, I remember how I felt at that time of my life. I was, when it came to my confidence concerning my appearance, at my very lowest I had ever been. I had more confidence when I was 12 kilograms overweight, because I didn't feel so fragile back then at least. Kind of ironic, Kevin loved the version of me that I disliked the most. He liked the cute little petite college girlie in shorts and knee-high socks. I stopped wearing them at school when I first saw the weird drawings in 4th year. I only started wearing them again after he received the warning, because I finally felt safe again and wanted to reclaim the look. Funny thing, I am no longer that petite fragile college girlie. I put on a little weight again, but in muscle this time. I'm a wide-shouldered, gender-fluid fucker who is playing with the idea of going on T, and I'm the most confident in my body I have ever been. Still wearing shorts and knee socks. Anyway, second drawing. I did not know of this one, I think. If he showed me, my mind has rid itself of the memory to protect me. Kevin would often send me drawings and ask for critique on them. You know, artist stuff. Sometimes I wouldn't even look at them and just say, looks fine to me, and be done with it. This may have been one of those moments where it was sent to me, I received it, didn't look at it, and made some generic response. Either way, I wanted the full quality available for this picture, because if you open it in a new tab and zoom in, you find he left a little message, where he says he inspired this drawing off a drawing of myself from way back. I never, in my entire life, have depicted myself this way, or anywhere close to this, so I am not sure which drawing he is referring to, because none of my previous artist sonas would fit this. The only hint could be the stockings, which might be close to my really old artist Sona when I still posted my work to Facebook. I showed it to my friends in class, including Kevin apparently, to show how I don't depict myself anymore, and that I am embarrassed at how cringy and edgy it looks, and that I no longer relate to it, hence why I no longer use it. Where in your mind, Kevin, did you think this was a good idea? Not just use a design I no longer use because I no longer see it as me, and then sexualizing it to depict me. Did you not listen when I said no? No, you didn't. Of course you didn't. I wrote a whole page worth of commentary on your letter in which I explain all the ways in which you didn't fucking listen. You know, I think we actually need to call it a day here. I don't even know if there's enough left for another video, but I will finish this somehow. Well, if you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, let me hear it in the comments. I'll be reading them. And subscribe if you want more similar content. Big thanks also to my generous patrons. I'll be shouting them out soonish here, but they support me more directly and it really helps out. Have a great day, everyone, and make sure you don't let the demon Cleo manipulate you.